Animal Crossing New Horizons has meant a lot to me, and I don't mean to sound cheesy, because it is true. This game has been very important to me due to several reasons. I bought it a week or so after it was released, and I fell absolutely in love with the series. Animal Crossing has given me comfort, friendships, new experiences, and an artistic outlet. And now that I have finished my Island Heaven, my first completed island that I have been working on for over a year, I feel sad. It's sad to say goodbye because I have so many memories from this island, but I also think it is time for me to let this island go and start a new chapter. But before we do that, I want to take some time and reflect on my experiences with the game and why I love this island as much as I do. So, let's start at the beginning. I was 19 years old and I had just started university. I went straight from high school to uni, and this was the first time I moved out from my parents to live on my own. I moved to a new city I wasn't familiar with, and it was hundreds of kilometers away from my parents. It took time for me to find new friends, get along with my roommates, and in general, learn how to be an adult. After my first semester was done, I felt like I finally was getting my life on the right track. But in the beginning of 2020, my and everybody else's lives drastically changed. This was the beginning of the pandemic, and I remember that it started to get serious in my country around March. Right before the society started the first lockdown, my parents drove up where I lived to fetch me and bring me home. I was very upset about this at the time because I didn't think anybody really understood how dangerous and long the pandemic would be. So me and my friends thought, oh okay, they'll do online lectures for a few weeks and then we'll be back on the right track. I thought it was so stupid of my parents to bring me back home with them, but now when I look back at the situation, I am happy they did what they did and I understand why they did it. So, how did I spend my time during lockdown? I guess you already know the answer, but I played a lot of Animal Crossing. I had heard of the series before, but I had never played any of the games, so I didn't pay attention to the big release of the game that was in March 2020. A close friend of mine bought the game and tried to convince me to buy it as well so we could play it together, and after 1 week or so, I eventually caved in and did it. And believe me, I was hooked from the start. I played it consistently for weeks. I had so much fun with it, both playing alone and playing with friends. And I remember being super excited to log on each day to see the process of my island. I had a very vivid memory of my friend telling me I should not time travel because that was cheating. So for a long time I did not time travel at all. I played each day by day, taking my time with the game and slowly building my island. I'm very happy that I didn't time travel in the beginning because of several reasons. But one of the things that really sticks out to me is that being excited to see how my island progressed each day, whether it was moving a house, building a bridge, or just getting a new building. It made me very excited to wake up in the morning. And during lockdown, I think that was very important and healthy for me to find a small purpose like this. And it also was a great way to connect with old and new friends. I think Animal Crossing has been the game where I have had the best online experiences with other people. The game can be quite social when it comes to trading, showing off your island, or being involved with social media, and 99% of the people I met have been extremely kind and friendly. Some of my interactions have also brought me new friendships, which I am very grateful for. I also played a lot with my friends from high school, and that was one of my best and most wholesome experiences. Even though you technically can't do that much when you hang out on each other's islands, I think it was so much fun. Just talking on the phone for hours while running around catching bugs made me feel like we were hanging out in real life. And during a time where you couldn't really meet anyone, that was the best thing ever. My island has been through a lot of changes and different themes. Like everybody else, I started with the simple newbie style, which was placing pots everywhere, planting hybrid flowers like crazy, and making small theme-specific areas like restaurants or markets. But eventually I started to get inspired by other creators on Instagram or YouTube, such as Consulcato and QB Crossing, and that made me shift my style towards a more cottagecore type of style. Though I can't really say that my earliest builds succeeded at being cottagecore, but I tried, and I think they're cute in their own ways. Watching other people make these amazing islands did inspire me, but it also was a little bit of an issue to me. I started to compare my builds to everyone else's, and that made me dislike the things I did, and it made me think my island wasn't good enough. I've talked a little bit about this before, but in general I struggled a lot with making things I liked instead of moving on to new builds. I just kept reading the same stuff over and over again. And this brings me to my next topic. I do have an Instagram account, and I started that before my YouTube channel. I made it around Christmas in 2020 because I was super bored during my exam period. At this time I was back at uni, in my student city by the way, and I was getting kinda lonely when I spent my days revising for the exam. So I made an Instagram account for my island named Isle of Heaven, which I now might change the name of the account to just be Electrey since I'm going to be restarting Heaven. Anyways, I think making the account was very helpful to me when it came to being proud of my own creations. I made a goal for myself to stop tearing down my own builds and rather focus on the bigger picture, which was completing my island. I'm looking at my old Instagram pictures right now, and December 19th, 2020 seems to be the date I stopped destroying my builds. So my pictures from then and up until now is pretty much how my process was when building Heaven. Even though it took quite a lot of time for my island to be complete, I did eventually do it, and I am very proud of it. Then further down on my Animal Crossing journey, I created this YouTube channel. And the reason why I did it was, oh, you guessed it, because I was bored during my exam period again. But this time it was spring and not Christmas. I posted my first video in April 2021 and tried my best to learn how to edit videos. I've been having a lot of fun with it, which is why I'm still doing it now. Believe it or not, this also brought me into the YouTube community, where I have made even more new Animal Crossing friends, and I'm also very grateful for this small community we have going on here. Every comment is so nice, and it truly lights up my day when I read them. I love you all so much. But this video is not finished yet. I still have more things to talk about. As some of you might know, I recently moved for my studies to a very special place. I moved to Svalbard this August, which is an island in the Arctic. Even though I love living here, there has been some things that have been difficult to me. And during those hard times, Animal Crossing was the game I played when I felt overwhelmed or exhausted. And doing YouTube has also been a very fun hobby to do to keep my mind off things. I won't go too much into detail, but a close friend of mine got very sick while staying here, and they had to move back to the mainland. It made me feel very lonely and helpless, and I couldn't really talk about this with my classmates either due to my friend's personal privacy, so it was hard for me to carry these thoughts with me all alone. But that's why I'm glad I had this comfort game to fall back to when I needed it. Now I have been talking a bit about why I care so much about this game and my island, and you might ask yourself, why are you resetting then, if you love your island so much? And you might also be thinking, why did you make an entire video just talking about this? I don't blame you if that's what you're thinking, but I wanted to restart my island because that means I can say my dream address, and then my island will always be there if I want to revisit. I also think it would be nice to reset to start a new chapter on my Animal Crossing journey. I know some people might think that it's weird I have so much to say about this subject, but these are some of the thoughts I wanted to get off my chest. Even though my island isn't the prettiest, most interesting, or very unique, it will always have a special place in my heart. I hope you have enjoyed joining me and Heaven on this adventure, and I hope you will be here to follow my next one on my new island. I love you all very much, and if you are still here, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you liked it, even though it was a bit different from what I normally make. Please give this video a like, and I'd love to hear what you guys thought about the video in the comments. If you are new here, you can also subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you here. Well, that's it for this video, and that's it for Heaven. It's always sad to say goodbye, but I also think it's gonna be very nice to start on something new. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!